The Indus Waters Treaty stands as a testament to the enduring complexities of the 1947 partition of British India. This agreement, brokered by the World Bank and signed in 1960, aimed to resolve the potentially explosive issue of water sharing between the newly formed nations of India and Pakistan. The Indus River and its tributaries, flowing from the Himalayas down to the Arabian Sea, were deemed too vital to be left to the vagaries of post-colonial tensions. The treaty emerged after nearly a decade of difficult negotiations. The core issue was straightforward yet fraught: how to allocate the waters of a river system that transcended the newly demarcated political boundaries. The stakes were incredibly high. For both India and Pakistan, the Indus and its tributaries were and remain lifelines. They are essential for agriculture, drinking water, and the livelihoods of millions. The treaty recognized the vital importance of the Indus Basin to the economies and indeed the very survival of both nations. It sought to establish a mechanism for the sharing of this precious resource, aiming to prevent water from becoming a source of conflict. The World Bank, in its mediating role, aimed to ensure that the treaty was equitable and took into account the needs of both India and Pakistan. However, the treaty was not without its critics. Some argued that it unduly favored one side over the other. Others worried that it failed to adequately address the potential for future disputes, particularly in the context of a rapidly changing climate. Despite these concerns, the Indus Waters Treaty has, for the most part, held for over 6 decades, serving as a crucial instrument for managing a resource vital to the survival of millions. The Indus Waters Treaty meticulously divides the 6 rivers of the Indus system between India and Pakistan. The treaty grants India control over the 3 eastern rivers, the Ravi, Beas and Sutlej. Pakistan, in turn, was granted control over the 3 western rivers, the Indus, Jhelum and Chenab. This division reflects the geographical reality of the river system, with the eastern rivers flowing primarily through Indian territory and the western rivers flowing predominantly through Pakistan. However, the treaty does not simply divide the rivers along political lines. It includes provisions for how each country can utilize the waters allocated to it. India, for instance, is permitted limited use of the western rivers for domestic purposes, agriculture, and even the generation of hydroelectric power. These provisions recognize the interconnected nature of the river system and the need for some degree of cooperation between the 2 countries. The treaty also established a permanent Indus Commission composed of representatives from both India and Pakistan. This commission serves as a vital platform for ongoing dialogue and cooperation on the implementation of the treaty. It is tasked with addressing any technical issues that might arise, facilitating the exchange of data and ensuring that both sides adhere to the treaty's provisions. The division of the Indus waters, while seemingly straightforward on paper, has been a source of tension between India and Pakistan. Disagreements over the construction of dams and other water infrastructure projects have led to disputes. These disputes highlight the challenges of managing a shared resource, particularly in a region marked by political mistrust and historical baggage. The recent terror attack in Pahalgam, a scenic town nestled in the Himalayas, has sent shockwaves through the region and cast a long shadow over the already fragile relationship between India and Pakistan. Coming in the wake of heightened tensions and mistrust, the attack has prompted a swift and decisive response from India, including the unprecedented decision to suspend the Indus Waters Treaty. India's decision to suspend the treaty is a clear signal of its intent to exert pressure on Pakistan. By targeting a treaty considered a cornerstone of bilateral relations and a symbol of regional cooperation, India seeks to convey the gravity with which it views the Pahalgam attack and the issue of cross-border terrorism more broadly. The move, while drastic, underscores the deep frustration and anger within India over what it perceives as Pakistan's continued support for militant groups operating within its borders. The suspension of the treaty, if prolonged, has the potential to significantly escalate tensions between the 2 nuclear-armed neighbors. Pakistan, heavily reliant on the waters of the Indus and its tributaries, views India's move as a hostile act and a violation of the treaty. The Pakistani government has vowed to challenge the suspension through international legal channels, setting the stage for a protracted diplomatic standoff. The international community has expressed deep concern over India's decision and urged both sides to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue. The United States, along with other world powers, recognizes the Indus Waters Treaty as a vital instrument for regional stability and fears that its unraveling could have far-reaching consequences. The potential human cost of a water crisis in Pakistan cannot be overstated. The Indus River system is the lifeblood of Pakistan's agricultural sector, which employs a significant portion of the population and contributes significantly to the national economy. A disruption in the flow of the Indus waters would have a devastating impact on crop yields, leading to food shortages, soaring prices, and widespread economic hardship. The most vulnerable segments of Pakistani society, particularly those residing in rural areas and dependent on agriculture for their livelihoods, would bear the brunt of this crisis. Small farmers, already struggling with poverty and limited access to resources, would face the prospect of losing their only source of income. The spectre of hunger, malnutrition, and displacement looms large, threatening to push millions deeper into poverty. The social and political implications of a water crisis in Pakistan are equally concerning. Water scarcity has the potential to exacerbate existing social tensions, fuel unrest, and even lead to conflict over dwindling resources. The Pakistani government, already grappling with a myriad of challenges, would face immense pressure to address the needs of its people and avert a humanitarian catastrophe. The international community has a moral obligation to prevent a water crisis in Pakistan. Diplomatic efforts must focus on bringing India and Pakistan back to the negotiating table to find a resolution that respects the rights and needs of both countries. The World Bank, as the original broker of the Indus Water Treaty, should play an active role in facilitating dialogue and mediating a solution.